Our guest today for Touch Basin's Hole is a young basketball player who comes from a long list of basketball players in her family. She played in the WNBA with the Los Angeles Sparks before being drafted first in the Women's Korean Basketball League in September this year. She joins us now via video to talk about her journey to Korea and her love for the game. Korean-American point guard Kianna SMITH of the Yongin Samsung Blueminx is with us now. Miss Smith, hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's great to have you with us. Let's talk about your personal background first, because I think it's really interesting. As I mentioned, you come from a basketball family. Your grandfather played for the Milwaukee Bucks of the NBA. Your father is currently a college basketball coach, and your brother is also a pro basketball player as well. So perhaps you were destined to play the sport, but did it feel that way growing up? Was this the path you were always going to go down, do you feel?
When I was younger, I didn't necessarily feel like this was my path. I think my parents and my family never pressured me to play basketball. It would just so happen that I wanted to play to hang out with my brother and his friends. And then I fell in love with it from there. So.
Right, so it wasn't something that you enjoyed when you were younger, but as you played with your brothers, I'm guessing you found that you must have had a talent for it as well.
Yeah, it sort of came naturally to me. When I was that young, I found it like just fun and easy, and I was pretty good at it. So I just kept on going, and then it led to where I'm at now.
Right, and you said there was no pressure from your father or from your brothers to keep going.
No, no. My dad always told me, if you didn't want to play basketball, it's fine, just as long as I commit to something. And I actually played volleyball for a while, so they thought I was going to be a volleyball player. But it just so happened that basketball was my route.
Okay, so I guess it was in your genes. You couldn't deny it. But that's
Right.
only one side of your family, though. You were born in California. Your father's American, but your mother is Korean. What did she think about you playing basketball?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being my dad's wife, she's been a basketball wife for a long time. So um, she loved the idea of me playing basketball. I think when I was younger, she wanted me to like dance and do more on the like girly stuff. But yeah, she loves it, and she's one of my biggest supporters now.
Sure. Okay. I'm still curious about your life at home. How much then of a sort of Korean culture and language did you have around you when you were growing up, seeing as your mother was Korean? For example, were you raised on Korean food?
Yeah, a ton. My grandparents were always around. So we ate a lot of Korean food. Every Christmas Eve, like my whole Korean side would come to our house and we'd eat a ton of Korean food. Even my mom would cook Korean food for my dad's players. So they loved it. They loved kaibi specifically. So yeah, a ton of Korean food. I always get mad at her for not teaching me the language when I was really little. But I've always heard it, her speaking to my grandparents and my cousins and stuff like that. So I've always been around it.
Okay, I see. So, as I mentioned, you played one season in the WNBA for the Los Angeles Sparks this year, but then in September, you signed for the Yongin Samsung Life Blueminx in Korea. Can you tell us a bit about the story behind this decision to come to Korea?
Yeah, so in the WNBA, our season is in the summer, and then in the off season, most girls decide to play somewhere overseas, whether that's Korea, Australia, Europe. And while I had a lot of offers from like different countries, Korea just made the most sense for me. I wanted to learn more about my culture. Obviously, I have a really deep connection with Korea, and being that I'm half Korean, so yeah, Korea was just the perfect place for me to come play and get better for my second season in the WNBA.
Right, so it seems like the connection that you had with your mother, wanting to discover your family roots as such, was what drove you a lot to come to Korea then.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Had you spent much time in Korea before?
No, so this was my first time out here. And thankfully, like, I got to bring my grandmother back with me, and my mom came, so we got to explore a little, and I got to meet some family again from when I was really little. My uncle that lives out here and his wife and family. So it's been amazing so far.
Sure. Were you nervous at all coming to a new country, a new league, even if it was your mother's home country, and even if you were coming, I guess, with your family?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely nerve wracking just because I'm so far away from home. The time change is different, and you never know how people are going to accept you. And but everyone's been amazing, especially here at Samsung. They've been treated me amazing, and I love my teammates and the coaches. So it's been fun so far.
And you said you came with your mother. She must have been excited that you were choosing to come to Korea for some time as well.
Yeah, she's super excited. And it's funny because my grandmother, throughout my whole basketball career in the States, she's never really followed basketball. But now that I'm out here, she'll call my mom about all the games because she can understand all the articles and that my uncle sends back to her and the games. So she's super into it now. So it's actually pretty cool.
Okay, and moving to Korea, does she have any advice or pearls of wisdom about living in Korea? What did she tell you?
Um, she just told me, just whenever I have an off day, explore, like, just really enjoy the months that I'm going to be here. Because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity that I'm able to live in another country. And, you know, I found it to be really safe. So they taught me how to use the subway and everything like that. So it's been fun.
Okay, let's talk a bit about the basketball as well. How have you found life with the Blueminx team and the life in the WKBL?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been an adjustment. It's a different style of basketball than from the States. So it's been tough adjusting to that, but I found it to be fun, challenging, and my teammates are super helpful and my coaches are super helpful. So it's been fun so far.
When you say it's a different style, what do you mean by that?
In the States, it's very much like pick and roll and one on one basketball. And we actually have this rule where you can't sit in the paint for more than 3 seconds. So it makes the game like very more spread out and easier, almost like easier to score, maybe.
Hmm,
And then in the WKBL, everybody's running around. It's a lot, everyone's kind of like smaller, so you could
sure.
switch more. So yeah, it's just, and obviously you could sit in the paint on defense. So when you drive by your first defender, you have another defender coming and another defender coming. So it's a different style of basketball, but it's kind of fun just figuring out, different ways to score.
Sure. And do you think that kind of difference in the game will perhaps help you moving forward as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think once I get back to the States, it'll just make it easier to score. If I could score against, three people guarding me here, then in the States, it should be a lot easier.
Interesting. It seems like you're facing some new challenges here. I feel some might have perhaps questioned your move to Korea, but I'm sure you'll have had your personal and professional reasons to come. Ultimately, what are you looking to get out of your time in Korea? Do you have any set goals or outcomes?
For sure. I mean, I want to win a championship with Samsung first and foremost, That's the main goal. And then long-term goal is just to play for the national team, hopefully get that opportunity to play with them and then represent Korea in the Olympics.
Sure. I saw in previous interview that you mentioned that as well, that your dream is to represent South Korea at the Olympics. Can you tell us a bit more about that? When did you start to think about that sort of dream?
Yeah, I think I really had to really think about it when back in the States, I got the opportunity to play for USA's 3-on-3 team. But they told me that if I played with USA 3-on-3, I wouldn't be able to represent Korea and their national team in the Olympics. So
Hmm.
I had to really make a decision then, like if this is something I really wanted to commit to. And It is. It was something, playing in the Olympics, representing my mother's country, and my other side of who I am. That's important to me. So I turned down the offer to play for the USA team, to hopefully play for Korea.
Still, that can't have been easy to actually turn down an opportunity to play with the US team as well.
Yeah, no, it was a really tough decision. I sat on it for like about a week and a half, and um, yeah, I think it'll pay off in the long run. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the US's loss is a gain for South Korea. I'm sure many Korean basketball fans will be excited to see you play with the Korean flag on your chest one day. But in the meantime, we'll enjoy you watching you play for the Blueminx for sure. What are your what are your goals for the season? For personally, for you said you wanted to win a championship, but what are your personal goals?
Other than that, just Rookie of the Year, possibly MVP. Just um, really just playing my best to help our team win.
Sure, it seems like you have ambitious goals for you personally as well. Well, it's been a pleasure. Good luck with the rest of the season. We've been speaking
Thank
to Kianna Smith from the Yongin Samsung Life Blueminx. Thank you for coming on the show today.
thank you so much.